Hey guys, welcome. Today we are talking about 1930s hair and makeup and a little bit of history behind it. So of course the stock market did crash in 1929, causing the 1930s to start off extreme hardship. There were food shortages, unemployment, people losing their home, horrible things. But oddly, Hollywood was still booming at that time. Makeup had become acceptable in the 1920s and even more in the 1930s. You know, before then it was mostly reserved for actresses, but it did become more widely used in the 1920s and 30s. And women still ended up purchasing and using makeup despite the income loss during this time. Okay, so if you'd like to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Okay, going in with Bare Minerals foundation. I'm in the shade Cashmere and I'm packing this on very heavily over my face. They really preferred a light complexion but very heavy, and they used powder on top of the foundation after that. They really honestly like to cake on the makeup to make their skin tone as even as possible, make sure there's no imperfections, and just made sure to blend in very carefully as well. And there was no bronzer or contour used yet in the 30s either. Okay, and then for blush, I'm actually going in with the Colourpop Midnight Masquerade eyeshadow palette, and this is a really pretty peachy color, which was really popular back in the day for like rouge. That color specifically was popular in the 30s, so I thought I would use this eyeshadow for blush. But it was used very sparingly. I did go back in and blended the translucent or white powder in just to make it look a little more natural. Okay, going in with the eyebrows. As you can see, I'm pretty nervous to do this. They had super thin eyebrows, like pencil drawn eyebrows. I didn't want to go through with like the glue or shaving my eyebrows or anything for this, so I focused on drawing, just following the natural brow line on the top of my eyebrows, just drawing a line starting there, because I know that the eyebrows were a little bit higher drawn up, like towards the forehead more in that time period. So I used concealer on most of my eyebrows, or the bottom half, I would say, just trying to make them disappear, cover them up. It's very hard to do without like any sort of glue, or maybe even costume makeup or theater makeup would have been better. But using my normal concealer, I used the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and I kind of went in concealer and foundation back and forth. Okay, so the shape of the eyebrows is kind of has like a flick at the end. It's kind of a half moon shape or more rounded shape. In the 20s, the brow was penciled in on the lower part of the temple, and the line was more of like straight across, and then the ends came down. Where this, in the 30s, the look kind of, the eyebrow flicked off at the end and had that shape. And I'm going back in with the eyeshadow, and I'm grabbing that pretty neutral color. It's in the shade called Pip, and I'm just popping that on my crease line just for definition. They really didn't use much eyeshadow back in the day, you know, during the daytime. They did like eyeliner though, so I went in with another color from that palette called Quasimodo and put that on the top and the bottom lash line. Okay, popping some mascara on the top and the bottom lashes. That was the desired look for the 1930s. The focus was more around length and not thickness, so I popped on some falsies. For lips, I'm going in with the Kylie in the shade 22. It's a liquid lip. I'm using a brush to apply it. The upper lips were enlarged to a bowed out shape. They always used red lipstick, and applied it with a lip brush, and then kind of blotted it with their finger because the formula was heavy. So this formula is pretty heavy as well. So I did try to blot it out with my finger afterwards just to make it look a little more natural, but red was always the color of the decade, and they really like that full and pouty look. Okay, I went in with LA Girl nude eyeliner just on the edges because they didn't like the lipstick to be on the edges as much. And then I applied lip gloss actually to my lids. They really liked shiny lids, eyelids, and shiny lips as well. Um, from what I could see, they used both, which looked like matte or maybe velvet finish for the lips, but they did like the gloss as well, so I added that to my lips. Okay, so trying to figure out what to do in my hair was tricky for this decade because short hair was in, and my hair is definitely not short. So a popular look that they had, if your hair was not short back then and you did not want to cut it, it was mostly worn up. So I decided to do an updo. I curled the front of my hair, like the shorter pieces that framed my face, curled that towards my face, and tried to get as much as I could of an S shape because that was still popular back in the 30s as it was in the 20s. And I pinned it to a kind of an S shape however I could get it. And then I took my hair in the back and put it up. I put it up in kind of a lowish bun and pinned the back. And then I took a really pretty gold hair scarf and tied that around my hair to hide any of the bobby pins and kind of keep everything in place. I also curled the side of my hair. You can see a small piece in the front to make it a little bit less formal looking. But that is the finished look. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching my 1930s look. I hope you liked it. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you did like it. I will be creating some more videos here on my channel. This playlist is called Makeup Through the Decades, so I'm excited to go through more of the later decades and show you what I come up with. But we will see you next time. Bye.